What's the motherfucking deal, Sauce Nation? Hope everybody is having a terrific evening, man. A wonderful Wednesday, as it is. Just looking at some old school, Wink Wednesday. So like I say, man, we're going to talk some sports tonight. If you don't know about Sauce Sports is all Houston. I mean, all sports, only Houston. I was halfway eating, so don't get mad at me. I ain't ate all day. I had to catch up real quick, and my mind was a little bit elsewhere. We was talking a little bit of shit about something real quick. Y'all youngsters wouldn't know nothing about. Y'all don't need to know nothing about that. But all sports, only Houston. But tonight we're going to be talking about the Rockets taking on the Utah Jazz, and then make sure you stay tuned because we'll go a little we'll get close to 7, and we'll probably drag up a little bit, and then we will be talking about the Texans versus the Dolphins at 7 tonight. So it will be 2 different separate streams, so make sure y'all stay tuned. We're going to double up the flavor. We're doing a double header tonight, you know what I'm saying, a double dip of some sauce tonight. So, man, what's the motherfucking deal? How you doing this evening, Wink?
Man, everything's copacetic. Man, you know, just waiting for this game tomorrow. Shout out to Seth Payne, you know, Paul Gallant, Mike Mills of Sports Radio 610 this morning. They wanted me to, Seth wanted me to call in this morning, so we had to drip some sauce on that show. They were loving this shit, so they giving us the plug, man. The city of Houston is loving it, you know what I'm saying? And the fans loving it. We love to give them this sauce. Oh, quick note, Honcho, about an hour ago, UCF Jaguar hit me up on because I had left a post under his video, a comment under his video, and he hit me back and was like, man, I love to be on y'all show. And he gave us some major shout out. So shout out to UCF Jaguar for their love, man, that he sent our way. Okay, that's a bet. That's a BT guy. Somebody said something about that he had showed some love. I hadn't had a chance to check it out, but I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna tune in and see what he's talking about. But that's what's shaking. You know what I'm saying? It ain't always got to be video. All right, that's a BT. Like I say, it ain't all hate. Like I say, man, as long as we it's all love and respect, man. You know, we always gonna show plenty of love. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, tonight, man, we finna talk some motherfucking Rockets. We ain't been giving the Rockets. I know I missed the Lakers pregame, missed the Clippers pregame. So we gonna get back on track, you know, because it's definitely got to show them love. You know, we ain't doing no post game for the Rockets. Motherfuckers be playing too late every goddamn night. Be on that West Coast time. Yep. Sometimes even nigga be at 1 o'clock in the morning. We ain't finna do all that. But here's the deal, man. Like I say, before we dive into it, man, we're going to see who we got joining us. I always know the Rockets pregame be a little light. You know, y'all don't be showing love to the Rockets like y'all be showing to the Texans, even though the Rockets, well, right now they ain't winning. You know, I blame the Texans, you know what I'm saying, because when the Texans start stealing all that juice, the other teams don't want to fucking win and shit. But let's see who we got joining us this afternoon, evening, and then we're going to dive right now. See Terrence Ford. See Wink holding down the chat and the stream. Miss Voodoo, see what's the motherfucking deal. H-Train. Excuse me. Vincent Bryson. Persuasion, what's the motherfucking deal? Joshua, DeMarcus Johnson, and Berkeley Boss, what's the motherfucking deal? So tonight, like I say, man, the Rockets are, you know, kind of in a rematch of the Western Conference semifinals last year. I don't believe it was the semifinals last year when they took on the Jazz and spanked that Jazz ass. But tonight is going to look a little bit different, man, because we're going to be missing a few key players. James Ennis is out. You know, he's the guy we picked up to replace that defense for Ariza. And so he's going to be hurt, I think, a couple of games. I believe it's a hamstring injury. And then you have, CP3, I believe, is still out with the second game of the suspension. So that should be very interesting to see how that pans out. Now, I kind of want to talk on that for a second because we really hadn't addressed it. We really hadn't talked about it because we had been mainly talking Texans. And, you know, as soon as I seen that, you know, I had to label him CP3 piece because people want to act like Rondo he just worked him over. Rondo got a nice little cheap shot in on him, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, my thing is this. Chris Paul has to carry himself a certain way. He is the president of the Players Association, you know what I mean? And so he going to let you know, hey, man, I ain't no hoe. And then Rondo tell me, and I ain't going to say Rondo was a hoe either because I'll tell you this, because when I first saw it, I didn't know about the spit. I'm going to tell you this, ain't no man going to put his finger all up in my face, be mashing me all up in my face like I'm a bitch-ass nigga. So I wasn't mad at Rondo for, you know, stealing off on him initially. But then when I saw that little hoe-ass spit, let me tell you, same motherfucking thing. Now, look, man, and Shannon said it perfectly. And this, you know, sometimes Shannon be kind of killing me with some of his takes on what happened in Houston, but he said it perfectly, man. And that's the same way I've been raised to believe. A motherfucker spit on you. That's the most disrespectful
motherfucking shit you can possibly do. Spit goes on the ground, in the toilet, in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? That's you spit on something you don't have no respect for. That's something you just that's almost like excrement. You discard and waste. You know what I mean? And so for a motherfucker to spit on you like you a piece of trash, like you just on so much. And I know some motherfuckers y'all be into that freaky shit. You know, be spitting all on your bitches and all of that shit. That's another conversation. You know, what you do in your own bedroom, that's your own business. But but I'm talking about as a man to man, mano y mano and shit. You know what I'm saying? Look. Hey, ain't no way, Jack. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I agree with Shannon. Hey, Shannon, look, I'd still be whooping that ass. Hey, and that's look, every time it would be on site. Like we would have some problems. Like, I mean, you know, regular season games, whatever it is, but you're gonna have to come holler at me in the off season. Like, we gonna have to meet up, proper time, proper place. We got money and ain't no reason to run from nothing, and we got some shit to handle, you know what I mean? Because that's the ultimate form of disrespect. So I'm not mad at CP3 because he did try to restrain himself. You know, he mashed him up a little bit. But you kind of see when he mashed him, it was a little bit of a fist action in that little mash because you could tell he was mad. I'd have been mad too. But then, like I said, Rondo stole off him. But what people don't realize, he caught Rondo with a couple of them. You know what I'm saying? As he was getting drugged. See, Rondo had free reign. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody holding Rondo back whenever he struck first, you know what I'm saying? But CP3 was getting pulled off, and he still caught him with a couple of ones. I said, that man got hands and handles, so you better be careful. You know what I'm saying? You don't have that type of ball control without being able to work your hands a little bit, man. So your thoughts, though, man. What was most interesting about that to you, that whole little situation? Because I know a lot of people were upset with LeBron because he took CP3 side. And I mean, they real boys. I think it's bigger than the game with them. So I'm not mad at him for that situation, for restraining CP3 instead of his own teammate, you know. But what was your thoughts on that whole little altercation?
Man, a nigga spit in my face one time. Nigga, one of my partners from the hood. This was a long time ago, and I beat the shit out of that nigga in his own yard. Yeah. Had to drag this nigga, bro, because nigga, I know what, bro. That's happened to me before, nigga, over a basketball game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, nigga, I'm putting this work in on nigga over a basketball game, nigga, in your yard, and now, nigga, now you want to speak. You know what I'm saying? So it's the ultimate disrespect, nigga. Women, anybody, nigga, you can get your issue, nigga. Want to speak? When nigga ain't none of that, all that. Oh, you should never hear none of that, bro. I'm telling you right now. Yeah. Spit fly out your mouth and it fly like you openly hawk the shit. Yeah. And you fix your lips and project that. Oh no, bro. You got to go. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, bro? Somebody got to go that night. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because like you can't live you either can't live to tell about it or you deserve to be in ICU. Yeah. Like at the end of the day, regardless, man, woman, child, old, infirm, you in the motherfucking gurney bed, nigga, on your last breath when you spit on me, bitch, I'm gonna make sure you go straight to heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up, nigga, I'm pulling the plug myself. Like, nigga, last thing you gonna see, nigga, is wink nigga hovering over you laughing, whole ass nigga. Yeah, but what's more disturbing to me, besides the whole altercation, was the dude who tried to come behind, you know what I'm saying, Ingram, yeah. You know what I'm saying, that he was doing all kind of hoe ass shit, nigga, to James Harden. Then he want to get involved and he want to sneak PJ Tucker. I didn't like that shit. Yeah. And that's what I kind of didn't like about Carmelo helping out the situation, nigga. He didn't just stand with his teammate. And I kind of looked at him a little different because honestly, Carmelo always ducking that type of action. Mm-hmm. It's always after the fact. He want to be, because I saw when they got down to the other end of the bar and the old boy had said something to him and you could see it. He be like, man, what the fuck you say? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you can tell, like, it's either he trying to refrain himself or he just put on that little act because he know he on television and people gonna talk about it. I noticed little shit like that, and at the end of the day, he wasn't really quick to that action like that. But another disturbing thing that really happened is that, like, they damn near quadrupled what they actually fined. Bro, I saw they charged the other two boys like $100K, close to 200, and they charged CP3 damn near $500,000, nigga, just for piecing this boy up, and they suspended him. Yeah. I'm like, bro, how can you charge this man quadruple the price because he got commercials? Because niggas in the league don't like him? Like, does the league not like Chris Paul? Something got to be going on that he was the one who got spit on. He the one who got hit. But at the end of the day, people ain't taking into consideration that, you know, bodily fluids flew out on this man's face, because at the moment I see that, oh no, yeah. He ain't getting no suspension and he ain't getting charged no games. Yeah. No, you gonna play.
But see, I think they based that off of
got to be out a week.
I think they based that off of how much you making, you know, per game, and he making significantly more than everybody because he's like one of the second or third highest paid playing because he's making more than Harden this year. So I think they really basing that with the games you losing. I think they basing that off off them games that you missing. And so I don't know if that's what they're taking the money from or whatever, but I mean, because he making way more than them boys, and so I think ultimately that's what it is. He got paid the big bucks this offseason. But yeah, it was damn near $500,000. That's what say shit, So that was a big chunk of change.
Either way, bro. That's some, not to cut you off, but either way, bro, that's some extra whole shit, bro. Yeah. And like Adam Silver and these boys and whoever run the NBA, you know what I'm saying, the PA, whatever they got, whatever little union and shit they got, bro, those niggas ought to be ashamed of yourself with the multiple views where you see this man getting spit on, you see him wiping his face. Don't no nigga just wipe his face for no reason, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless he got some sweat in his eye, nigga, ain't nobody just rubbing their face like that, or I got some crust in my eye, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody just wiping their mouth like that. Who does that? You know what I'm saying? So, it's a whole ass situation. Rajon Rondo, man, I hope that he'll break his leg this season. Like, I said it. They go, wait, girl, you can't be doing shit, nigga. Fuck that whole ass nigga.
I ain't never
when you a whole ass nigga, you a whole ass nigga, and you deserve the worst. Nigga, I hope that bitch, nigga, his body go one way, his leg go the other, nigga, he snap his shit and he end up on a gurney. Nigga, that's exactly what I help hoping to that whole ass nigga.
But I ain't never liked Rondo. I ain't like Rondo since back when he tried to run Ray Allen up out of the Celtics because he was the reason that they had all that beef, And again, Rondo been a mark. Oh, if I had the ball that much, I'd be as good. No, you wouldn't, because nigga, you can't shoot.
No, you wouldn't.
Nigga, you've been in the league a decade and change or so, and you still can't shoot. You just now probably hit your first three the other night.
Years.
Yeah, you just motherfucking hit your first three probably the other night. And they can't shoot, barely can fucking make mid-range shots. Like my thing is, he could assist, but again, when you was playing with 3 Hall of Famers, of course you gonna rack them up. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man, you came in the game playing with greats. And so that made you look a lot better than what you really were initially. When
KG and when he had nothing to say when KG and Paul Pierce charged him up, he had nothing to say when he was doing interviews and they was walking by like, what the fuck you say? Yeah, nigga, you don't want this work. Yeah. You know what it is. You know what I'm saying, bro? He definitely didn't want no KG problems. I don't even think Shaq wanted KG problems because KG was brought that life, bro. We all know that.
I see y'all talking about Glenn Davis, and Glenn Davis is whack though. Glenn, you gotta look at Glenn Davis was always a lazy nigga. Like, so when y'all talking about Big Baby, he was saying what old buddy was saying. Y'all talking about I forgot who y'all was talking about. Green that y'all was talking about. I forgot the other nigga y'all was talking about. But you gotta understand, like, CP3 is a floor general in every sense of the word. Like, he runs shit in almost like a mission style. You know what I mean? He's going to motherfucking make sure motherfuckers execute. Motherfucker wants to win games. These niggas just want to collect checks and fuck with hoes and shit, and they don't take it that serious. These niggas got to ride on teams where they didn't have to do shit. CP3 held motherfuckers accountable and still holds motherfuckers accountable. And they don't like that shit because motherfuckers ain't never made them do that type of shit in their life. They used to always either being, coming up through high school, being the best player on their team, or in college being the best player on their team, or, being a secondary role type guy. Because Big Baby ain't never been the one, you know what I'm saying? And so, when he was later in his career and come on, like, my deal is this motherfucker been he's the most out of shape basketball player I've ever seen in my life. Dog. Like, they call Charles Barkley the round mound, but shit, Barkley got it in. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker Big Baby was just lackluster. But he hated because, motherfucker made him put in that work. And so he ain't like that shit. He was towards the end of his career and motherfucker was holding him accountable. He figuring, I done been around, I'm a veteran. I shouldn't be talking. CP3 don't give a fuck about that shit, man.
I mean, to be honest, CP3 hands down is probably the truest point guard that's been played over the last 15, 20 years at an elite level. That can shoot, can distribute, had handles. The only other people that I can even put on his level over the past 20 years, I can say Allen Iverson, but let's just be real. Allen Iverson was like more of a shooting point guard. You know what I'm saying? He was a very, like, he had to get his stats in and shit like that. But I'm talking about all around floor general. What we pretty much know, the only other people I can put in his vicinity over the last maybe 15, 20 years is probably Steve Nash and John Stockton.
Yeah.
If we being real, they about the only ones I can think of that could do everything.
Yeah. So you asked me, shout out to Wink for doing it big for the sauce already. Yes,
already, man.
And I see somebody's wife. But here's the deal: it wasn't even his wife was on some fuck shit. It was a Rondo hoe ass girlfriend. She ain't even solidified. She gonna be out the door in a couple of weeks anyway. So she probably thinking she earning some clout trying to charge up CP3 wife. Bitch, you better sit down. That hoe got a ring. You ain't got a thing. You know what I'm saying? So you better go somewhere with your whack ass. You replaceable. You a throwaway.
She'd have been in this. She'd have been in this situation for quite some time, bro. Ain't nothing. I can guarantee you, she ain't endured yet.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I say exactly. I agree with you, Vince. He's saying that CP3 gets a bad rep because he takes shit seriously. He's trying to get a ring and other. Exactly. You got to look at it. If you rolled your way to a ring and you got one, because I can't remember if Baby was with the Celtics when they got one of them. I think he was, but if you rolled your way to a ring, that don't matter to you because you feel like you a champion, even though you ain't contributed shit. When a man has to run the entire operation, like he had to do with the Clippers, like he had to do originally with New Orleans, like, come on, man, like you just gotta understand, or what was it, the Hornets? You just gotta understand that this man has passion for the game. Like he's trying to go out there. He's going to be a Hall of Famer automatic, but he knows that his time is limited. He knows that it's a slim window to get there, and he's going to do whatever it takes to make that shit happen. These other motherfuckers feeling, he a bad teammate. Why? Because he holds you accountable, because he ain't partying with your whack ass and doing all that other dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? He holds himself accountable as a man, as a family man, and all those other things. Y'all just a bunch of goofy ass niggas tricking off to these fucking IG hoes and shit. You know what I mean? That's really.
Let's ask a real question, Honcho. Is there any other person in the league who's as passionate as him? I don't think so.
That's a good one.
Not at that elite level. I don't think so. Because Steph Curry definitely ain't on that level. KD ain't on that level. No. We know Westbrook ain't on that level. I don't even think Anthony Davis. It is LeBron James. I love LeBron James. But he ain't on that level of passion. He shows it in a different way. You see, CP3 shows it on the court and out his mouth. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. It's not that I haven't seen LeBron James get on his ass, but we all know LeBron isn't the closer that CP3 is either. You know what I'm saying? Like, he been closing and sealing the deal for 3 separate teams now. So we can't even talk about the importance of what he means to this franchise when he's on the floor actually getting shit done, bro. And at the end of the day, they wasn't saying this shit when Michael Jordan and fucking Kobe was in the league. It's the only 2 people I can even think over the last few years who even rival his passion when it comes to playing basketball. If we being completely real, only Kobe and fucking Michael Jordan, bro. And that's fantastic company to be in when it comes to passion. Because honestly, bro, and you could probably say Allen Iverson, but even though the only difference between Allen Iverson just had, like, he literally never had a team assembled around him. And I mean, he was a true warrior though.
My thing with Iverson, though, because I used to be a big ass Iverson fan, and I kind of had to like revisit my fandom for Iverson. I think the Iverson situation is kind of like the Westbrook situation. Niggas kind of saw the way he played, was like, man, I don't want to go over there and fuck with that nigga. You know what I'm saying? He got the ball too much. And so I liked Iverson. Don't get me wrong, I was a big Iverson fan. That used to be my favorite player while he was in the league. But then I go back and look at it, and I have to be honest with myself because I can't stand Russell Westbrook. But there's a lot of similarities between Russell Westbrook and Allen Iverson in the way that they play. I see some folks talking about Jason Kidd. Yeah, definitely. You put Jason Kidd in that category with
Jason
Nash
Kidd,
and Paul too.
Yes,
so definitely.
But which Jason Kidd? We talking about the Mavericks Jason Kidd? Because that was the absolute best Jason Kidd ever, bro. Like, straight up.
all around, though. But here's the deal. Let's kind of let's dive into this and let's take a look at today's game because, like I said, we're gonna talk a little bit and we're gonna pull up a little bit short and we're gonna get ready for the Texans pregame preview for tomorrow. But we're gonna make sure we get a Rocket some love. But like I say, looking into tonight, man. The Rockets and the Jazz are both starting off the season lackluster compared to what people were expecting. People were expecting the Rockets to be a dominant team coming out the gate. Still as they were last year. The defense is kind of falling off a little bit. Without Chris Paul, it's going to be very interesting. Without James Ennis, it's going to be extremely interesting because he was brought in for his defensive presence. The Jazz have also gotten off to a 1-2 start. Had the Golden State Warriors and then end up letting it go. Had another loss. I forgot who else they had lost to. But again, just games that they were in, they end up losing. And the thing is, Donovan Mitchell has not been looking as efficient. Not going to say he's not as good because he's still averaging 19 points a game, 3 assists and 3 rebounds. But he's not looking as efficient. He's not looking like the Spider Mitchell he was, who should have won the Rookie of the Year over old bullshit ass buddy who they gave it to, the second-year rookie. God, I can't even think of his name right now. But, you know, he should have been the true rookie of the year. But again, like I said, they were Ben Simmons. And, you know, it was a bunch of bullshit in that. And we ain't going to get into all that because we're not rooting for the Jazz right now. But I think it's going to be very interesting, this matchup, because, again, you know, Rudy Gobert is averaging 13 rebounds a game, close to 13, 12.7, something like that. And so what you got to look at is a lot of these stats were similar to what he had last year coming into the playoffs. And I think, you know, aside from Harden and Mitchell, the next most interesting matchup on the court will be Capella and Rudy Gobert, because Capella raw dogged Gobert last year. Everybody did all that talking, about Gobert. You know, he's going to be the best center in the league. He's this and he's that. Capella had his way with Rudy Gobert last year in that series, man. And yeah, that's crazy. Vince Carter's still going at it. But Capella had his way with Rudy Gobert, shut up a lot of critics. And again, that Capella, that playoff Capella, you know, we always talk about players on Hoodie Melo or playoff Capella or this, that, and the third. Man, playoff Capella was the real deal last year. Now, the Golden State, they found a way to kind of ease him out of the program. But again, when he went up against other bigs, when he went up against Karl Anthony Towns, when he went up against Rudy Gobert, guys that people were saying, oh, you know, these guys can shoot, or this guy can shoot, or this guy plays extremely great defense, or this guy. They had Gobert wondering what to do with himself. You know what I'm saying? He ain't even know what the fuck to do because, again, it was just Capella just came out of nowhere. It was like almost unexpected. So I think that's going to be a very interesting match to watch to see if Capella can kind of repeat his performance as he had the consistency that he had against Gobert in the playoffs. Another very interesting thing is with, you know, with Chris Paul being out, and I want to get your thoughts on it. But Chris Paul being out, you know, James Harden tends to play a lot of point guard as he did the year prior to Chris Paul coming into the league. He was basically the best point guard in the league. The versatility was amazing. So you may see a lot of Harden on Rubio, and we've seen what happened with Harden and Rubio before. But then you're going to have Gordon maybe having to kind of guard, you know, Mitchell. And Gordon's defense is not the greatest. Some people say he's an underrated defender. I don't think so. I think he's okay, but he's not really. He actually showed up being one of the worst defenders on the Rockets last year. Him and Rhino were actually the two worst. So, I mean, again, it took a few games for Gordon, for Mitchell last year to get going before he started showing everybody why he deserved to be the rookie of the year. Do you think that with the injuries that the Rockets have and just kind of them still trying to find their place in the lineup, still trying to figure out how to utilize Melo, missing these pieces, do you feel like a guy like Mitchell may be able to take advantage of Gordon? And because I'm kind of worried about this game, being honest with you. I mean, how are your thoughts on that one?
We're playing the Jazz, right?
Yes, the Jazz, yeah.
Man, the Jazz have been giving us problems since the fucking 90s, bro. I hate the Jazz with a passion. It's something about that team that rubs me wrong. It's their uniforms. It's their city. It's just the players that they've had, and it's their game plans, bro. It's really no telling. I'm pretty sure if Gordon ain't on, it's going to be evident, and it's going to be evident early. You know, so if he can't get out, he can't make some shots, and he can't be effective once his number is called, and when he gets inserted in the lineup, it's going to be a long day for him. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, that it's not as bad as we think. You know, if he can give us like an 18 to 19 point performance, you know, stepping off the bench, I think that'll be suitable. I think that'll be at his limit, probably the best that you can expect for a player like that. But it's no telling, man. This team always plays us hard. They got some good defenders, you know what I'm saying? We got some shooters. We got some defense, you know. But like I said last week when we were doing the pregame, I really think this team isn't going to start peaking until about like 28, 30 games. You know what I'm saying? So, and, you know, I think the paint is going to definitely have to be taken care of. And, you know, dudes are going to have to drop a lot of mid-range shots on this team. I think that's going to be probably the most effective area that you can probably take advantage. But outside of that, man, hopefully, man, he keep his shit right. And he's just not laying down on defense. He's going to have to play some defense in this game, this whole fucking season.
Like I said, it should be real interesting to see how that pans out because, again, you know, a guy like Mitchell can catch fire. We've seen him have some amazing performances. And we've seen Gordon, though, sometimes Gordon can oftentimes flip the switch. You know, sometimes he'll have a so-so game and he'll kind of disappear a little bit, and then you'll see him backdoor and then, you know, drop a 30-point game or you know, hit 7, 8 threes or something like that, you know, in a game and just really light it up. So I think it'll be very interesting. I personally feel like Mitchell has the upper hand on him. And then kind of looking at it, like I said, I'm not sure what lineup they're going to start with. I don't know if they're going to try to slide Carmelo into that starting lineup with Ennis out. It'll be interesting to see the Carmelo Tucker if they maybe start both of those guys, or who they're going to go with.
He should.
And again, because I wouldn't agree. Because I would agree because the funny thing about it too, though, is the national media right now. Everybody's Carmelo wouldn't go to the bench. Carmelo, he should be benched in OKC. This, and this. Now the talk is, Carmelo should be starting for the Rockets. Why isn't Carmelo starting? And like I say, it's always something with the national media whenever it comes to how Texas or how Houston operates or how Houston decides to run what they do. You know what I mean? So it is
right.
The Jazz fan for life. Let me see what they talk about. Talking about why we ain't got a do rag. He ain't got no hair. Yeah, they hate who the Jazz fan for life.
Man, bro, get off my nuts. Whoever said that, nigga? Go worry about it, nigga. Don't you got some titties to suck, nigga? Hopefully, nigga, get the fuck up out of my business, nigga. Don't worry about it, nigga. My wife like it, nigga. That's all that matters, nigga.
That's all that counts. That's all that matters, man. But like I say, right now you got the Jazz. They got about 6 guys averaging double figures. Again, they're putting up the numbers. They just haven't been putting together the games. To me, the Rockets haven't been scoring as well as they should. I was kind of hoping that Lakers scuffle, kerfluffle, whatever you want to call it, would kind of ignite the team. But I don't know if it really put the fire that I was expecting. Because again, they went out against the Clippers and didn't really handle business. They let them hang around, and then Clippers ended up taking it. That was the return of Pat Beverly, which was interesting to see because he was still being his usual Pat Beverly self. So that ain't changed. He was on his little and I told you, like, man, I used to say that when Pat was here, like, you love Pat Beverly if he plays for you. Mm-hmm. But if Pat Beverly was ever on another team, in which he is now, you hate that motherfucker. So quickly, it only took a quarter to see why other teams, other fans hated the fuck out of Pat Beverly. And I can understand why OKC fans, but fuck them too, didn't like him. You know what I'm saying? Because he can easily get on your motherfucking nerves just with some shit he does. So I think that's pretty interesting. Again, so like I say though, Joe Ingles, he's balling for right now. He's the leading scorer of the Jazz. And he's a guy that, he was kind of giving us a little bit of issues last year during the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle him. Again, like I say, with Ennis being out. Maybe they assign Tucker to that, or we'll just see kind of how that whole situation works. And again, it's going to be very interesting because the Jazz play great defense. The Rockets, we'll see how successful their switches are. It's going to be a lot of things that we're going to have to watch this game. And again, I kind of agree with you. I think it's going to take a few games because there was a lot of shuffling with this Rockets roster. It's not like, you just replacing a piece here or swapping a piece there. It wasn't similar to the CP3 situation where you weren't really taking or you really weren't losing key pieces when you got rid of Montrez and Decker. These guys were just kind of rotational pieces and, bringing in CP3. Now you're talking about losing guys who would start in Ariza. You losing guys who play significant minutes in Mute. Now, again, do I think they were that big of a loss? Only maybe because of the chemistry, from the few years of Ariza being here. And I think that's not easily replaced, by bringing in a new guy. So I think it's just going to take a little bit. I'd have to definitely agree with you that it's going to take. It may take double-digit games, may take 20-plus before the Rockets start hitting their stride. And I think a lot of people are already panicking, and I think a lot of people with the Jazz are already panicking because a lot of people were trying to say the Jazz would be a better team than the Rockets coming in this year. A lot of people were saying, Spider Mitchell was going to take it up the next level, but then now people say, you're having a sophomore slump, or because he's down in all categories statistically. Yeah, and that's the thing. But we live in this day and age of instant gratification. We live in this day and age of, we got to have it right here, right now. If it ain't the way we want it, then we start panicking. And then when things start to pan out and fall back in place, you realize a lot of that shit was all for nothing.
Right.
So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that whole situation. So here's the deal, though. This is what we're going to do. Because like I said, we'll probably give you about 45 minutes. Then we're going to take about a 15-minute break, and then we'll boot it back up at 7 o'clock. So for the Texans versus Dolphins preview, we got a lot to talk about that, the return of the Brock Lobster. I want to get y'all's thoughts, man. You know how we do this, man. We got to get some mark my words. We're gonna have to get some predictions. We're gonna have to get some thoughts in. And a shout out to Chandler, man, because he said shout out to Honcho and Wink for holding it down. So I appreciate that. And yes, again, for those of you who are questioning if we were going to be streaming this, we will be talking about the Texans at 7 o'clock. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. You know, you get your restroom break, you get your it's halftime or whatever it is. You know, get your little 15-minute break. We'll do what you got to do, and then we'll be right back at it. They calling me. So here's the deal. Like I said, I want to get some mark my words. I want to know y'all's thoughts on this game. I want to know, what do y'all expect to happen? Again, with CP3 missing, with James Ennis, you're a key defensive contributor, missing. You know, what are you guys expecting from the Rockets? The defense has not been great when those guys were available so far. Right. And it's going to take a significant hit now. I mean, are they going to have to try to beat these guys by, just having an overwhelming offensive production? Will James Harden have to have a great game? You know, again, he had a solid game. He definitely outplayed LeBron last game. The game they played, say like 30-something. I didn't catch what his stat line was from the Clippers.
I didn't either.
And is he going to have a 40 point? He's going to have one of those epic James Harden games that we saw every now and then last year, and then the years prior where he 60-point triple-double or some of that sort. Now I'm not expecting him to need all that, because I'm hoping that these other guys can step up and contribute too. But again, I need to know. I need to hear some mark my motherfucking words, man. And that means, if you're not familiar with that, that means you have to make a bold prediction. And so that's saying, hey, James going to have 18 points and 3 rebounds and 2 assists. Now, it can't be no weak-ass stat line. It has to be something that is not normally taking place. So I want to hear somebody make some – I want to see some bold predictions. And like I say, as we get ready for that, I want to see some score predictions in there also. Like I said, we'll go ahead and throw them all together. Me personally, though, looking at this game, I do believe it's going to rest on kind of the anchor of Houston as in the recent years, and that's going to be Capella and Harden. Capella's definitely going to have to play a dominant game against Rudy Gobert, because, again, he's a guy who can hurt you defensively. He's definitely going to be a problem in the paint. And so, he can definitely shut that paint down. So, again, they're going to have to find ways to get around that. Hopefully they get him in some foul trouble early. And, again, Capella's going to have to be dominant. He might have to pull out that Swiss step on him, chop him up, see what he going to bring to the table. It's going to be very interesting to see what those two guys are going to do. And then we're going to have to figure out, who's going to be the rotational guy that's going to step up. And I'm expecting P.J. Tucker, because P.J. Tucker always, he definitely comes in clutch when needed, when relied on. That corner three is something serious. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And I'm not sure who's going to be playing point, but I'm assuming it's going to be Harden at the point, Gordon at the 2. That's usually how they run it when CP3 is out. Gordon will, he'll instead of coming off the bench, he'll start at the 2, and then Harden will usually run point guard. So it probably won't be as much of Harden on Mitchell. But we'll see, again, how they run that. But, it'll be a very interesting matchup between Gordon and Mitchell, because Gordon, like I said, he can get off. He's averaging 18 a game right now, and Mitchell's averaging 19. So it could be an interesting display of offense between the two of those guys. And then, like I say, Harden with Rubio, I think that's where we're going to have a definite advantage, and they're going to have to seize that opportunity. And, put Rubio on skates again, send him skating back to where he came from. You know what I mean? So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that. I'll stop. Quintuple double for P.J. Tucker. Look, I love P.J. Tucker, the motherfucker, but goddamn, look, quintuple double. Like let's not mark those motherfucking words.
If we had to like compare like a Texans player who P.J. Tucker on defense, like if we could take a defensive player from the Texans and compare him, who would you compare him to?
That's a damn good question.
Isn't he like Whitney Merciless?
That's what I want to say. I mean, maybe
he's
not
like Whitney Merciless.
Maybe not the Whitney. Well, yeah, Whitney came through last year. This last couple. Because I'll say Whitney back in action. He made some plays this last game.
He's been showing up, but he's been a little quiet. But he definitely made his statement known in the Jazz game. Yeah,
I think I'd have to. Yeah, if we're talking about overall body of work, yeah, I'd have to say that'd probably be the most ideal, because he's not your main dude. He's not your number 2, but he's a guy that can come in and definitely feel and play a significant role when needed to. So he's not your JJ, he's not your Clowney, but he's definitely a guy that you're gonna have to pay attention to. You're gonna have to respect what he's gonna do, because he's gonna do the little things, right? Be it rebounding, be it the threes, be it able to just score, be it again playing that great defense against whoever your best player is. He'll guard anybody, so that's not an issue.
He's pesky.
Yeah. And then
he
ain't no hoe.
He get it in.
He ain't no hoe, because y'all notice Draymond will pick the right ones. He'll know who he can fuck with. But he kept a halo around PJ Tucker. He ain't want no smoke with PJ Tucker last year. So.
Him or Harden or Capella.
So I already know. So I see Joshua saying that Harden gonna have. You say Harden gonna have 10 assists. You better shit, goddamn. We gonna need all of them hoes. But the thing that kills me too is when people act like Harden is not a distributor, but you got to realize Harden's always passing the ball. The thing is, for assists to work, it's a 2-man game. Motherfuckers got to make the shots too. You know what I'm saying? Like a motherfucker be passing all game, but if your men aren't hitting the shots, then of course it's gonna look like you greedy, or it's gonna look like you're not distributing the ball. So I think that's.
Didn't he finish high in assists last year?
Yeah,
wasn't he in like the top 10 or top 15 or some shit like that?
He was probably like top 5 if I'm not mistaken. He was up to Harden.
Yeah,
Harden stayed at the top of the league.
Top something. Yeah. I know he was like the top something, because I know he was one of the top scorers, if not the top scorer. And that's a team with CP3. And you mean to tell me that he was still top 5? Because I want to say they both. Him and CP3 were definitely up there when it came to assists last year.
Oh yeah, they were definitely both up there, both in that conversation. So after Anderson's trade, ticket sales went down. Stop. The white rhino. Everybody was paying to see the last of the white rhinos. Shit, I'm glad Anderson motherfucking ass out of there. You know what I'm saying? You say McKinney MCW. I don't know. Michael Carter-Williams got to show a little bit more before he get McKinney credit. You know what I'm saying? Because Michael Carter-Williams has been injured like every year that he's played, and that's been his biggest problem, because he's a good player. It's just injuries have hindered him. And again, if he can have a solid, healthy year this year with the Rockets, I think that'll be the pickup of the year, for anybody. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with that. So mark my motherfucking word, Melo would jab step 200 times. You might not be lying about that.
I don't see Tillman, Fertitta, and Morris sitting back and just allowing this. I see them either making the play for a good defensive coach, or I see them just going out and making the trade or getting something done before the All-Star break, and getting the top defensive player from somewhere. I just don't see them. I don't see them, especially if it's like close games and they need, a couple of boards here and there, or they could be better in blocks, or just being better in the paint period. Like I just don't see that. Because they load it when it comes to offense. You really just have to take care of that other piece of the ball if you're just not seeing the same types of defensive production that you're seeing. And right now, it's just like it's not going to take you. You're not going to see it right now. But honestly, I don't even think you really saw it this early last season. I really just think the chemistry was so good. They were just dominating on all cylinders, and they were putting up hella points. So I think the team was just built a little different last year, versus this year.
Yeah, and like I say, with all these new pieces, with all these new faces, man, it's just going to take a little bit, to get it all together. Because it's one thing when you practice, and it's one thing in the preseason, it's the other thing when the games start to count, you know what I mean? And then again, you're playing a couple of good teams to start off, so it's going to be very interesting to see how it all eventually pans out. Because again,
who's to say they won't start off like how the Texans started off?
Yeah, I think it's
who's to say?
Because you had Anthony Davis first game. He's an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
You had the Lakers second game. LeBron is whoever he is. You had the whole scuffle kerfluffle. And you got to win in that one. Now the Clippers one was kind of an anomaly, but you had some guys missing who were essential to your team. So I'm not going to be too mad about that. In this game, again, you got Spider-Man who could catch fire. This could be the game he gets on. Like the Jazz is a good team, so I'm not really necessarily tripping because again we're missing a couple of pieces. But I expect that, Harden being the reigning MVP, he's going to have to step it up a notch. He's going to have to, if he want to get that back-to-back, if he wants to retain that title, then, he's going to have to make a play for it. And so I think that I expect to see a big game from you say ticket prices went down. Yeah, ticket prices went down. They had a high-ass contract they had fucking Ryan Anderson too. They had to pay the fuck. They had to figure out a way to recoup those losses for that motherfucker just sitting on the bench and getting paid fucking $1 million of fucking just to sit on the bench damn near. What was this shit last year? $20 million last season to do nothing when Capella was making fucking cracker crumbs and fucking cookie crumbs and shit. You said Lakers will lose to the Suns and start 0-4. They're asking too much for LeBron in 16 seasons, so LeBron will get another coach fired. That'll be interesting because here's the deal: like Luke Walton is not that good of a coach. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. Like he's not all. He had a chance to get some shine on some other people's dimes, but we'll see what happens. And I think that's the thing what you mentioned about the trade too. Luke Walton. Not Luke Walton. Fuck Luke Walton. Fucking how did I say Luke Walton for Jimmy Butler? Jimmy Butler is still available. They're still talking about shopping him, so that's going to be real interesting to see what's going to happen. But here's my deal. I think people are expecting too much from Braun. Motherfuckers thinking he's going to come out the West. You got a steal deal. Like I said, it's going to be a problem because, you're going to have to deal with the Warriors earlier on, and that's been his arch nemesis. I mean, if I was him, I'd have stayed in the East, try to keep that little funky final streak going, to have a chance. But, again, this is the West, and y'all see what happens when you come to the Wild, Wild West. It's a whole different ballgame. It's not like you can do with the fucking Cavaliers, just have a couple of dudes around you and just run it up playing against teams in the East every night. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Even Kobe made a comment, and he's like, oh, no, if they go 0-5, I might have to come back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I saw that shit.
It's crazy.
Honestly, LeBron ain't never had no good coach. It ain't no team that LeBron, from when he was on the Cavs twice, they were both trash. Spoelstra was trash, and he got exposed the moment that fucking LeBron left. The Miami got exposed, period, once he left. You know what I'm saying? And now he got Luke Walton. Come on, bro. Luke Walton ain't nobody, bro. Oh my God.
I ain't gonna lie. My boy PJ Tucker, as we talking about, that boy usually come to the game fresh. This nigga look like he wearing a grandpa robe today. I don't know what's going on. He looking like he wearing one of them hats Future be wearing and shit, and he got a fucking grandpa robe on. Like I see the outfit match, but sometimes you just don't always do it. You know what I'm saying?
These basketball and football players, they so fly, bro. You're not fly, bro.
You got some of this shit. You got to cut some of this shit out. But here's the deal, man. This is what we finna do, man. We're gonna wind it up real quick. Again, we're gonna jump back in at 7:00 on the DOT, and we're gonna get the Texans versus Dolphins game preview going. So we're gonna drip some sauce on the Texans because we got to get y'all some sauce before the game gets going tomorrow, and then y'all know.
But before we dip out, I want to go ahead and get my prediction real quick.
Okay, yeah, my fault. Go ahead.
Prediction for the game, I see it being a low-scoring game, bro. But I think Harden will end up going off. I think he's going to end up having like 42 points. I think he's going to get like 9 assists, 4 boards, and like, fuck it, he going to get 3 steals tonight.
So 9, 4 boards, and 3 steals. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I might as well get mine. What you got on the score? And I'll go ahead and drop
score. I see it being a low score. Probably like 104-96.
Okay, 104-96. You give it to the Rockets?
Yeah, I'm giving it to the Rockets tonight. Fuck the Jazz.
I see it. Ron Burgundy I'm Ron Burgundy? Here's the deal. I'm gonna give you mine. That's what I got. I say I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think Harden's gonna have to go off, but I don't think it's gonna all be in the points category. I'm gonna give him 36 again. But I think he's going to be more efficient with the assists. He's going to be playing point guard. I think he's going to distribute a little bit better tonight. I see him having double digits in the assist column, and I see him having a little bit higher in the rebounds. So I'm going to give him 36. I'm going to give him 12 assists. I'm going to give him 8 rebounds, almost a triple-double, but falling 2 rebounds short. Because usually when it comes to getting close to that triple-double, it's the rebounds where he falls a little bit short. But I'm agree with you. It's going to be a lower scoring game, but I'm gonna keep them both in the 90s. I'm gonna say Rockets 97 and the Jazz. They're a good defensive team, so I'm gonna say Rockets 97, Jazz 92. I'm gonna say it's a 5-point game, a little bit closer than I like. I think the Rockets find a way to get it together. I think it's gonna be late. I think they're gonna have a late run in the 4th, and just I think some things are gonna have to fall in their favor, some foul trouble or something like that. But I see the Rockets coming back and taking this one tonight and getting it up to 500. People in Utah will be overreacting, and people in Houston still ain't gonna care because y'all know y'all don't get the Rockets no love till it's playoff times. If it's that, so we'll see what happens with that. But that's the BET, man. Sauce Nation. We appreciate y'all again. We'll be right back here at about 7 o'clock. Well, not about at 7 o'clock on the dot, and we will be talking Texans versus Dolphins and looking into that matchup. With trust me, there's plenty of sauce to drop on that. Man, when you got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Nah, man, y'all just stay tuned.
All right, that's a bet. With that being said, man, we're gonna chunk up the douche. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. We'll see y'all in about 15 minutes.